She loves me. She loves me not.
Dating as a Christian can be tough. It's challenging. Where do I start? Where do I meet someone? How do I ask? And if they say no, what if they avoid me? There's so many questions that go into dating. Welcome to Theology Made. I'm Jordan. And if you find yourself in the world of Christian dating, this video is for you. Dating to me, it's a lot like middle school.
Flo and I were in middle school.
Like you have to go through it to get to the other side, but when you look back, it's not always something you want to do again. By the way, have you ever met someone and they just loved their middle school experience? And you ever thought to yourself, what's wrong with you?
Everybody's mean. Middle school's stupid.
Jimmy Fallon has this Twitter trend that he'll do every few years called Worst First Date. And I want to share a few of my favorites with you. First we have Christine Woolslayer. She says, this guy I started seeing was a funeral director. And he picked me up with a body in the back of the car and said, we need to make a quick stop at the office. Leslie Gannon said, my date let me out of the car to wait on the curb while he parallel parked. After 3 failed attempts, he drove off and I walked home. And last, Linda Childress says, in college, a friend set me up on a blind date. I wasn't in a great mood because I just received a traffic ticket a few hours before, and my day got a whole lot worse. My blind date turned out to be the cop who gave me the ticket. So go ahead and put in the comments your worst date. I'm going to share mine in there as well.
Dating.
And what I want to do in our brief time together is talk about 3 common lies that we tend to believe when it comes to dating. And the first lie is this: the person I date has to fit my list. You ever applied for a job and the company just had unrealistic set of expectations? Like I can remember I was just out of college, I was applying for different youth pastor jobs, and the descriptions would always be something like someone with 10 to 15 years of experience, a master's degree, but also young and energetic. Like what? It's a part-time role. We've all seen those, right? Where we apply for the job and the expectations are just not realistic. And yet we sometimes do this when it comes to dating. We create a list, maybe on paper, but certainly in our minds, and it's the list of everything that we think we want in a spouse. Now, there are 2 problems with this way of thinking. The first can be best explained through owning a home.
Then you got your gravel piles, your sand piles, your scrap piles.
When Chris and I were first married, we made a list of all the things we wanted in a home. We were getting ready to buy our first house and had our list in hand. However, we very quickly had to modify that list because what we wanted did not fit into the budget we provided. And some of us have things on our dating list that do not fit what we provide. It's like when we want to date someone who's like super in shape and we're not. And here's the most important part. When we bought our first home and we were living in it for a while, we realized that the things we thought we wanted were not what we needed. Come on, somebody. You find out pretty quickly you're going to need 2 sinks in your master bathroom. And the problem with the list is that it's based on assumptions of what we want and not on reality of what we need. Now, let me say it a little louder for those in the back. The problem with the list is that it's based on assumptions of what we want and not really what we need. That's the first problem. The second problem is this: it's not about our list. It's not. Rather, the person I date needs to fit God's list. Now, how do we find God's list? Well, there's 2 ways. First, we need to get into His Word. We need to hear what He has to say. And second, we need to look in the mirror and say, am I the kind of person that I would want to date? So the first person I date, or first lie, is that the person I date has to fit my list. The second lie, and I hope this brings you some peace, is that I need to know quickly whether the person I'm dating is the one I'll marry. In general, we put way too much pressure on ourselves, particularly in dating. The goal of dating, it's to get married, but not every date leads to that. The goal of work is hopefully to be in a job that you really enjoy and is fulfilling, but not every job will be that. And there are dates you're going to go on, and you're going to quickly realize this isn't the one. But there are other dates where you might date for a while, and over time you realize they're not the one. And we put this undue pressure on ourselves because of false expectations, that we should know in the beginning whether they're the one. But nothing else in life works like that. A date is a date. It might lead to something deeper, it might not. But don't be in a hurry to commit your heart and your mind and your body to someone else. Psalm 37:4 says, delight yourself in the Lord and He'll give you the desires of your heart. God will bring that person into your life. Sometimes it just takes longer than we would like. But over time, it'll be clear whether they're the one for you. The last lie is this: I'll be able to change them while I date them. And this may be the single most common lie that we believe when it comes to dating. Having done years and years of young adult ministry, I can't tell you how many times Chris and I have been sitting across from someone and they tell us, this will be different. We're going to change. I'm going to change them. And this is one of the best litmus tests to move on. If you begin to have that conversation with yourself, that you're going to change them, then you know this person is not for you. You don't need God to write that on the wall. If that's running through your head, I'm going to change them, they're not the ones. Because you're not looking for a project, you're looking for a partner. So if he's not mateable, he's not dateable. And this is one of the biggest red flags. When you start thinking this, or those around you are telling you this, that's a sign. Move on. Listen, look for patterns, not potential. The problem is we can have potential for anything. When I was in high school, I played a lot of sports, loved sports, and one of the sports I played was basketball. Get me on the court and I'm trouble. Last week I messed around, got a triple-double. Little throwback Ice Cube for you. And I had this idea in my sophomore year that I'm going to dunk. Now you can go ahead and put a laughing emoji in the chat because I'm 5'9" on a good day. So all summer long I trained. I thought if I did enough calf workouts, I'll be able to dunk. I even got some of those jump soles to walk around the house in. I was dedicated. I worked out a ton. Season came along, first practice. I jump up soaring like Jordan. But in the end, it was not Michael Jordan I was soaring like, it was Jordan Vale because the ball barely touched the rim. I was hopeless. Like I reached a certain point I realized, yeah, that probably isn't going to happen. I'm not going to dunk. Potential, sure, but there was no pattern. It's not about potential, it's about patterns. What do the patterns of their life reveal? What is the direction of their habits? Because potential can be dangerous. We can have the potential for anything, but patterns reveal the direction of a person's life. So 3 lies to recognize when it comes to Christian dating.